Yizzo, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man. You can tap in, you can tap out. But you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now you already know time, energy, the highest forms of currency, my G. I know they got y'all here chasing the bag, chasing that money, chasing that paper, stacking that cheese, that cheddar, and that mozzarella. But always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time, energy, are the highest forms of currency, my G's, at all times. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands that we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation. Yeah, we on our way to the top, well over 50,000 subscribers, and we on our way to 60K. Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new subscribers, all my new investors, everybody that's making their way to the Realest channel on YouTube. Grown Man Business TV is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. You know how I'm giving it up, and you absolutely know how I'm putting it down. Now, do me a favor, man. Wipe off your feet before you step into the big house, all right? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time you step foot in the Realest channel on YouTube. Grown Man Business TV is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, you already know, late night live stream. Give y'all a second to tap in. But I got a lot of people in the DM, right? I got a lot of people asking, GMB TV, what's your perspective on the whole independent content creation situation? You know, why are you always saying that independent content creators have a more powerful voice than these celebrities, than these rappers, than these podcasters? Why are you so hell-bent on that? I got a lot of people in the DM, and I'm going to tell you something. It's a late night Sunday. You know, I'm watching the Dave Chappelle special, enjoying my night. But I said, before we close out this Sunday night, we going to deliver a powerful message. We going to get directly into this, you know what I mean? And I'm going to address that. You know, I tell y'all all the time, my voice is more powerful than CNN. My voice is more powerful than Fox News. My voice is more powerful than DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God playing butt tag every day on your morning radio. And I mean that. I don't say it because it sounds cool. I don't say it because it rhymes and it's rapping and tapping, spitting and skitting. I say it because it's the truth. All right? Is what it is. It'll be what it's going to be. Big salute to y'all. Listen, man. Before we go any further, you already know I got to do some customizations to the chat. The higher ups and the elites are always paying attention. They're always playing chess at the highest level. Higher ups and the elites are always trying to muffle the message. They're always trying to shadow ban the channel. The higher ups and the elites understand that I'm a threat to the establishment, an absolute threat. You understand what I'm saying? They also understand that the revolution will be televised right here in these YouTube streets. That's what make me powerful. Yeah, I want to address this. I want to talk about this. So before we go any further, I'm going to do some customizations to the chat. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to give y'all a few minutes to get up in here. Late night live stream. Oh, yeah, you got to know I baited the algorithm. Yeah, talking about 21 Savage, talking about Gunna, Thugger, talking about these rappers absolutely baited the algorithm. And here's the purest dope, straight off the brick, directly into the bottles. You already know how we do over here, all right? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Let me do some customizations to the chat. I'm going to give y'all a couple of seconds to get up in here, all right? Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be, all right? Yeah, you see the thumbnail. You see the thumbnail. You see the title. You feel me? Camron avoids saying the name of these higher ups and the elites. Yeah, see these, you know, these celebrities, we going to talk about this. Everybody's talking about Diddy. Everybody's talking about the documentary. Everybody got something to say when it come Baby Oil and P. Diddy. But when it come to them people, everybody, everybody's quiet. When I'm talking about them people, everybody is quiet when it's time to talk about them people. All right, so let's customize the chat, and we're gonna get into this. We're not staying long. I know a lot of y'all got to go to work in the morning. I know, it's a late night Sunday. But if you strolling through YouTube, if you in the algorithm right now, this is where you want to be at. We're gonna have a conversation. Big salute, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do when you come in here. We're gonna customize the chat, and we're gonna have a conversation. But it's nasty work. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't know. The voice is powerful, my G. There's no way around it. You see that right there at the bottom of the chat, right? When you get in here with your Twitter fingers doing what your Twitter fingers do with the Twitter fingers all in the comment section with your Twitter fingers before you get in the comment doing the Twittering with the Twitter fingers and all that, the like button, the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time you step foot in the Realest channel on YouTube. Hit the like button, man. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do that. All right, now let's have a conversation. You know, again, why am I so hell-bent about independent content creators' voices being more powerful than these rappers, than these podcasters, than these actors? Because nobody believes these rappers. Nobody believes you podcasters. We see what's going on. And respectfully, you know what I mean? Get your bag, create your content, you know, do your thing. But when it comes to the real, when it comes to that pure dope straight off the brick directly into the bottles, it's a difference. It's levels to this. It's absolute levels to what we do over here. And when you come over here, right, you're going to respect the levels. You have no choice. Because if you don't respect the levels of what this independent content creation thing is, you expose yourself. It's only so long fake thugs can pretend. It's only so long these fake thugs can pretend. All right? And we're going to have a conversation about it. You know, the difference is we don't have, I'm going to speak for myself. I don't have no strings. There is no Geppetto pulling any strings when it come to Grown Man Business TV. I've never thought twice about exposing the higher-ups and the elites, the other side of this thing. And that's where we differ at. That's what we gonna have a conversation about. It get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. But Camron recently avoided saying the names of one of these higher-ups and one of these elites. Not only Camron, but Chopper from Making the Band. He did the same thing. It's all good when we talking about Puffy. It's all good when you talking about Bill Cosby. It's all good when you talking about Michael Jackson. It's always cool when you talking about somebody that look like you. But when you start pointing the finger at the other side, you become a threat to the establishment. And see, that's what I want to kind of home in on tonight. I want y'all to understand, when you see all of these celebrities coming to YouTube, when you see all these big time podcasting productions, and you say to yourself like, man, look at what's going on. What you got to understand is these are tools. This is a chessboard. This is a chess match. These are pawns, bishops, and knights being moved on the board. You know, we're going to have Joe and Jada. We're going to have Cam and Mace. We're going to have Gilly and Wallow, and we're going to build them up so that more people will watch them instead of watching y'all. Because we know they not going to get out of line. They not going to buck. They not going to say no names. But y'all, see, y'all, it's like an untamed stallion. We are, you know, I am an untamed content creator. There is nobody in control of this. So we gonna get right into this. Big salute to the chat. You know, late night live stream, pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles. We not here to play. We not here to joke around. This is gonna be a serious one for the celebrities, especially a lot of the celebrities that's coming to this content creation, coming to YouTube and trying to do what they do over here. I want y'all to keep doing what y'all do so that I could keep doing what I do. I created a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in it. Yeah, I know it sound cool when I say this shit. I know I sound like a rapper. I sound like a poet. But it just is what it is. I created a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in it. Now, you already know. You already know how we do over here at Grown Man Business TV. If it's midday or if it's late night, it don't matter. I kept the receipts. I absolutely kept the receipts, my G. So we gonna get into these receipts. All right. Now, again, I had to bait the algorithm. I wanted to give y'all some context on what we're going to be talking about tonight. But let's get right into this. You know, on one hand, you got P. Diddy. You got Diddy. You got the diddler. Did he do it or did he not? Did he do it or did he not? Did he do it? Diddy did it. Yeah, he did it. We all know Diddy did it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, respectfully. But on the other hand, we got a man by the name of Mike Jeffries. Now, we're going to go deeper into who Mike Jeffries is. But what you got to know is Mike Jeffries got the same charges as P. Diddy. Sex trafficking. You know what I mean? Manipulation. Mutilation. Yeah, fornication. Yeah, all of that. Yeah. Mike Jeffries got all of that. But the difference is Mike Jeffries is one of them people with the dog fur. Yeah, Mike Jeffries got a head full of dog fur. You understand me? So Mike Jeffries made bail. Mike Jeffries was able to go home. $5 million bail. P. Diddy stayed in jail. Mike Jeffries, his whole situation got swept under the rug. P. Diddy, international news. International. Yeah, that shit was worldwide. Everybody in the world know P. Diddy get down with the baby oil. Nobody really know what's going on with Mike Jeffries. You understand what I'm saying? And see, if you leave it up to these celebrity podcasters, you know, Joe Buddens, you know, Jada Kiss, all of these celebrities that made their way and are making their way to YouTube, we never know about these dudes. We never know about the other side. That's where we come in at. That's where the independent content creation come in at. And we're going to get deeper into this because I'm going to speak about 50 Cent and we're going to really dissect this. But Mike Jeffries. Now, what I want to do is I want to start with this first receipt. I want to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. I want to show y'all with the receipt exactly the difference between what I do and what they do. The main reason why my voice is powerful and these dudes is puppets. Listen, respectfully, get your money. I'm with everybody getting paid. Money is always the motivation, but it's a difference and it's levels to this. That's why the platform is growing. Big salute to everybody in the DM, everybody reaching out. You will be able to support. Trust me, it's coming. V1 will be available top of January. All right. Let's get into this first receipt, man. I want to show y'all what happens on these platforms. You understand what I'm saying? When you got this huge platform and you got millions of subscribers and you got all of these higher ups and the elites dropping money and funding, compromising. All of these dudes been compromised. And we going to get right into it. You already know how we do. Hit the like button when y'all come in here. I see y'all lurking, man. Make sure you hit the like button when you step into the building. All right? Yeah. We you already know. Late night. Late night tap in. All right? Watch this. Look.
What did you see to make you say that you want to leave the label?
Oh, real simple. Okay. We in pause. We in Daddy's house. This is after the band now. I keep saying after the band so that people can know that it was a little further.
The timeline.
Yeah. Right. So
what is groping? Because I know what groping is, but
telling me, tell Puff get on the phone. I need to holler at him. So I'm like, all right, cool. I go to the A room. I tell his security, blah blah blah. Want to holler at Puff. You know, he's a big dog over there, bad boy. So I'm thinking it's all gravy. He like, no, man, he doing something right now. So I'm like, huh? And I gave the security the phone. And whatever he said to him, he got out of my way. And I walked in the room, just a quick little crack. And I seen Puff and somebody that's very major in the industry groping on each other. And when I seen that...
Hold the fuck up.
All right. Now, I'm going to let it keep going. But you saw Chopper. He said he walked into the studio. He saw Diddy and a very important man in the industry groping each other. All right. Now, I want to leave it. I want to stay right there. I don't want to use too much of their content because you already know how they get. You know what I mean? He saw two people. He saw Diddy and somebody else groping each other. Now listen to this. Listen.
Let me see.
Niggas try to, so basically niggas try to buy, they tried to buy your silence.
I don't know what that means.
You basically, but no, not in a real way. Basically, what you saying is, because I got
style or substance.
a deal you talking about, but I'm just saying.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
come on, man, y'all gotta say.
No.
You know,
Not on this show.
Not to cut you off, but the type of person that I'm talking about is too much of a juggernaut to even talk about it. That makes sense?
No, I know what you're talking about, and that's why we're not going to say this nigga's name. Because I got an idea what you're talking about. But I'm just saying.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but.
Come on, man, y'all gotta say.
No.
You know,
Not on this show.
Not to cut you off, but the type of person that I'm talking about is too much of a juggernaut to even talk about it. That makes sense?
No, I know what you're talking about, and that's why we're not going to say this nigga's name. That's why we're not going to say the name.
I would prefer to let that go into the next question.
Absolutely. Sin, you got another question, man? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's my life.
That's why we're not going to say the name.
I would prefer to let that go into the next question.
Absolutely. Sin, you got another question, man?
The juggernaut to even talk about it. That makes sense?
No, I know what you're talking about, and that's why we're not going to say this nigga's name. That's why we're not going to say the name.
I would prefer to let that go into the next question.
Absolutely. Sin, you got another question, man? Go ahead.
Now, when I saw this clip, right, my wheels started turning. But I didn't get out of place with it because I always said this. Now, look at Cam. Know what I mean? Y'all, a lot of y'all like Cam and Mace. Y'all watch the show. Y'all watch the podcast. Salute to them. Everybody doing their thing. I always say, you know, Diddy was leaving. We already know about what happened with Mace. But even with Cam, right? Cam don't have no problem saying nigga this, nigga that. He don't have no problem talking about nobody in the industry, especially P. Diddy, you know, Bill Cosby. Camron make fun of all these niggas. He will say something. But as soon as it come to whoever that juggernaut, whoever that dog fur having man that was in that studio with Diddy, look how spooked he get. Oh, I know exactly who you talking about. That's why we not gonna say nothing about it. I know what you know exactly who he's talking about, but you too scared to say his name. Because those are the very people that's paying for your podcast. Those are the very people that sponsor you rappers. Now we gotta, you gotta understand why you see such an fluctuation of rappers on YouTube with podcasts. Just last year, these same rappers were saying, I ain't no YouTube nigga. I ain't no internet nigga. I don't talk about people on the internet. They were saying that until the higher ups and the elites understood exactly how powerful we are on YouTube. And what's the first thing they do when they realize they got a threat? What's the first thing they do? They fund a solution. It's chess on the highest level, my G. See, when y'all think about war, when y'all think about chess, y'all think about violence. Y'all think about guns. Y'all think about shooting. Y'all think about physical altercations. But see, when you get to a higher level, you got to fund the war. You got to fund the war. And when you fund the war, it's multiple different angles that you can take. You know what? These dudes on YouTube are too powerful. We're going to fund the rappers that everybody listens to and everybody likes. We're going to fund their competition. Look at all these rappers. Look at all the extravagant, they got the extravagant podcast set up with the mics in the background and the studio, and they got all of that. It looked real good. But when it's time to say names, they know better than to say names. They know better. They know who they can talk about and they know who they can't talk about. That goes for Camron. That goes for any of these these podcasts, these celebrities, and it also extends to 50 Cent. Now I'm a approach an angle when it comes to 50 Cent that nobody is touched. Nobody has connected the dots. Nobody has put two and two together. And we're going to talk about that. But I want to stay right here. I want to stay right where I'm at. Camron laughed it off. Now, mind you, they talking about Diddy. They talking about him being in the studio and having, you know, a physical situation with another man. They don't mind saying Diddy, but they all get scared when it's time to talk about the other guy. Chopper said, I would like for you to go into another question. Cam said, you know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to get into another question. And when you listen closely, you will hear Cam telling his co-host, nah, don't say that. You know why? Because if you talk like I talk, your whole situation, it won't be another podcast. It won't be another Is What It Is. It won't be another Talk with Flea. Your ass will be out of here. And they'll assassinate your character. Not only will you be wiped out when it comes to your content and your podcast, some white girls will come out the bushes and say you sexually assaulted them, and they'll have your ass on trial in 2 months. Yeah. That's why you celebrities, that's why y'all weak, respectfully. Salute to everybody in the DM. It's a lot of blue checks in the DM. You know, on a certain level, I can rock with y'all. But for the most part, it is what it is. Y'all always been frauds. Y'all rapped to us. Y'all gave us, y'all told us that y'all was using the scale that they used to weigh the whales with. And the whole time you was a college student. The whole time you had a mother and a father. You had a 2-parent household. So it ain't no hate or no disrespect to you celebrities. It just is what it is. Y'all used to rap about selling drugs. Y'all rapped about toting guns. You know, back in the day, y'all really misled us, a lot of us. Lucky for me, I made it through that maze. But a lot of us ain't make it through that maze. A lot of us, they ended up in private prisons or in the grave due to the lies y'all was telling. You understand what I'm saying? And now it's a shift. It's a shift. And all of you rappers, y'all want to be content creators. But you can't create content being biased. You can't create content trying to attack somebody that look just like you, like Diddy, and then hiding the other guy. Nasty work. Absolutely nasty work. And I wanted to just throw that out there. That's how easily they avoid talking about people in the industry that don't look like them. Now, before I go into this next angle, I want to say this. They always use a black man as the poster child. You understand what I'm saying? It's always going to be a black face as the poster child of whatever crimes or whatever violence or whatever situations is going on. It's always going to be a black face. Sex trafficking, P. Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? Prostitution, P. Diddy. They always grab a black man and put him as the poster child. Notice what I'm saying. Okay? So it's nasty work. It's disgusting. And behind that mask, right, you got all of these white men. You got all of these Jewish men. You got all of these Saudi Arabian, you know what I'm saying, oil tycoons that get down with the sex trafficking. They get down with the children. They get down with they do all of that. All of these men, Mexican men, white men, especially Mexicans, oh, they whoop they old lady's ass. I used to work with some Mexicans. You know what I mean? Salute to them dudes I used to work with out there in Philadelphia. The stories they used to tell me after 5 or 6 Modelo, yeah, they used to drink them Modelos, that beer, and then they would whoop ass in their house. But you know, we all think it's Diddy. We all just see what Diddy did with Cassie, and that's the poster child of, you know, domestic violence. Why you think all these celebrities got podcasts? Because they are the distraction. They are the chess pieces that been moved on the chessboard. George Soros, Mike Jeffries. You don't really hear them talking these names because they not built like this. They can't talk like this. Salute to the chat. Hit the like button when you come in here. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But I needed to give some context on what we talking about. So Camron, you know, Killer Cam. Yeah, Killer Cam. Yeah. You could talk about selling drugs in the community. You could talk about running through holes and hitting this chick and hitting that chick and hitting your chick and hitting her chick. You could talk about selling crack. You could talk about having guns. You could make a movie called Killing Season, where you was killing niggas all through the movie, all throughout Harlem. You could do that. You could play Alpo, you know, and Paid in Full, talking about selling drugs and shooting your best friend, leaving them in a goddamn hallway, pissy elevators and all that out there in New York City. See, you could do all of that and they'll pay you. But the last thing you ever gonna do is get on one of these podcasts and get to talking about the hands that feed you. Yeah, you will never bite the hands that feed you, ever. That's what make you weak. And see, now we got this technology where we can talk about this. See, back in the day, we just had the CDs and the DVDs and we couldn't do nothing about it. But now we could talk like this and you hear us talking like this, Cam. You hear these celebrities listen to our podcast. They listen to our platforms. Trust me. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a couple of y'all in the background right now. Oh, yeah, they pay close attention. You understand what I'm saying? So it's okay to say nigga. Nigga this and nigga that, but you will never say kike. It's okay to talk about P. Diddy, and P. Diddy's a nasty man. I'm not defending P. Diddy, but if we gonna get P. Diddy out the way, we need to get Mike Jeffries out the way. Yeah. You know, one and the other is all the same. If we got to get P. Diddy out the way, then we need to make the same effort and we need to get Mike Jeffries out the way. We need all of these guys that are into sex trafficking. We need their ass all in jail. All of them. Right? That's what y'all pushing. Nah, y'all ain't pushing that. Y'all just working for them people, man. Y'all worse than Gunna. Y'all worse than Thug. Y'all worse than 6ix9ine. You dudes is worse than confidential informants. I'm not defending P. Diddy. Diddy like to put the jizz and all that on his nipples. I ain't into that. Diddy's a nasty man. But guess what? Mike Jeffrey is you know what? Let's get into the receipts. Do you know who Mike Jeffries is? Have you ever heard of Mike Jeffries, the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch? Yeah, I said Abercrombie and Fitch. Yeah, that's what I like to call it. So don't get on in the DM and all that and all in the chat with your Twitter fingers trying to correct me and all. I said Abercrombie and Fitch. Yeah, you used to wear Abercrombie and Fitch, didn't you? Didn't you have a couple of Abercrombie and Fitch shirts and jeans and all that? Yeah, I said Abercrombie and Fitch. The CEO. I need 100 likes in here. And then I'm gonna give you the receipts on who Mike Jeffries is. Hit the like button, man. Yeah, he's the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. And I just wanted to say that one time. Abercrombie and that's how I say it. I don't want to speak proper English. I'm not an Englishman. Yeah, I'm not from England. yo, man, you speaking proper English. Nigga, I ain't from England. I don't want to speak proper English. I said what I said. Yeah, it's a hidden language in this. Do you know what I'm talking about? Proper English. Yeah, your ass speak proper English and you're drinking cow milk, ain't you? Did you drink cow milk today with your Fruit Loops? Yeah, I don't want no parts of it. I done broke free of the Matrix. So I said what I said. Abercrombie and Fitch. All right, now let's get into the receipt. I don't care. But you know I don't care about the numbers. I want to get into the receipts. Now I want you to listen to this. Because why is it that everybody's talking about Diddy, but nobody's talking about Mr. Jeffries? Oh, nasty work. This is where we separate. This is where me, Camron, Mace, Joe, Jada, Gilly, Wallow, this is where we separate. This is why, regardless on what's going on, y'all make your way to this channel. Let's get into it. You know what? Talk to the people. Look. Look at the dog fur right there. Look at that. Look, I want to say something. While y'all run up the likes, I want to get to 100 likes. I want to talk about this strand of dog fur that Mr. Michael Jeffries has on his head right there. That right there is a diabolical strand of dog fur. I done seen some nasty work, but Mr. Mike Jeffries has a nasty strand of dog fur. That dog fur right there is nasty. Look real greasy, gel. Yeah, I don't like the dog fur. I don't like it. I don't like the dog fur. And I'm gonna tell you something. Anybody with this strand of dog fur right here, in my eyes, is suspect. Yeah, you're into something. You're sex trafficking. Yeah, you're down with the pedo movement. You got child porn in your phone. Anybody with this type of dog fur, nasty work. Dog fur. I said dog fur. Caucasian, y'all already know y'all got the dog fur. That's why your hair smell like a dog when it's wet, because it's fur. That's for everybody that's new, all my new subscribers. When your fur get wet and it smell like a dog, that means it's dog fur. Look, you know what? Let's get into this. Look.
The former CEO of clothing retailer Abercrombie and Fitch is behind bars, accused of luring men into drug-laced, outlandish, and coercive sex parties he held around the world. Mike Jeffries is accused of dangling the promise of modeling for the retailer's ads. Also under arrest, Jeffries' romantic partner and then a third man as well. The trio is accused of using Jeffries' status and wealth to fulfill the couple's sexual desires in what investigators say amounted to an international sex trafficking and prostitution business. The three are charged with sex trafficking and interstate prostitution. We'll keep you updated on that story for sure. The former CEO of clothing retailer Abercrombie and Fitch is behind bars, accused of luring men into drug-laced, outlandish, and coercive sex parties he held around the world. Mike Jeffries is accused of dangling the promise of modeling for the retailer's ads. Also under arrest, Jeffries' romantic partner and then a third man as well. The trio is accused of using Jeffries' status and wealth to fulfill the couple's sexual desires in what investigators say amounted to an international sex trafficking and prostitution business. The three are charged with sex trafficking and interstate prostitution. We'll keep you updated on that story for sure.
Now that's nasty work right there. Mike Jeffries, the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, right? Him and two other people, so it was three of them, had a international sex trafficking ring. International. Diddy was local. Diddy was local, man. He didn't take it out the states or out the country or nothing like that. Diddy was state to state, city to city. Mike Jeffries had an international sex trafficking ring where he would lure in men and bribe them and make them think that they were going to become models for Abercrombie and Fitch. And before they could become models for Abercrombie and Fitch, he got them on the casting couch. Yeah, he did some nasty things with them. And then he sent them back to he sent them home. Yeah, you don't get no modeling today. Yeah, no contracts today. That's what he was doing to those men out there. International sex trafficking ring, and nobody knows anything about it. Nobody's talking about it. CNN, they ain't talking about it. Fox News, they ain't talking about it. Yeah, the Breakfast Club, Newsmax, none of these dudes know anything about Mike Jeffries. But everybody's so intrigued about P. Diddy. Now, mind you, I want to go a little deeper because Mike Jeffries, they gave him a $5 million bail. He didn't stay in jail for 24 hours. An international sex trafficking ring, he got a $5 million bail. P. Diddy, he had a little local situation going on with the baby oil and all of that. P. Diddy offered over $50 million. Passports, everybody in his family had to give up their passport. He offered about 3 or 4 big ass mansions and some more shit. He tried to give him $1 billion worth of shit. And they said, nah, yeah, no bail. Your ass staying in jail. And nobody's talking about this. And instead, Camron and Chopper, they avoiding names. 50 Cent, he done put his stamp of approval on a documentary on Netflix that's #1 in the world on P. Diddy. I want to say this, right? P. Diddy's not your enemy. P. Diddy is not 50 Cent's enemy. Yeah, he's knocking his baby mama off. He got his baby mama doing, all-star freak-off weekends and all that. They doing freak-off weekends and shit. He got her on the payroll. But that's not your enemy. Dudes like these is the enemies right here. But again, who's going to say this? Independent content creators. Who's got the big enough kahunas to talk like this and get paid for it? Oh, my videos go green, baby. Yeah. My videos go green. I articulate myself a certain way. I know how to talk to the algorithm. So when y'all look at Cam and Mace, when y'all look at Gillian, when you look at these celebrity podcasters, you got to ask yourself, is this real? Is it real, son? Is it really real, son? Let me know it's real, son. Is it really real? Loaded up a ill one, up a got a deal one. Is it really real, son? Is it really real? You got to ask yourself, is it really real? When I was a little cheerio, what let me do that every yacht. You might be too young for that. Don't worry. Is it real? 9 times out of 10, yeah, the dope been stepped on. The content is stepped on. They've been compromised. Mike Jeffries, an international. You know what? I got enough. Mike Jeffrey, I ain't done with you. I got some more receipts. I got some more receipts for you. I ain't done with you. Because if I had the money, if I was 50 Cent, I would have did a documentary on Mike Jeffries, the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. And I would have said it just like that. Abercrombie and Fitch. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about when I say Abercrombie and Fitch. I would have did it goddamn next. I would have did it. We're going to talk about 50. Not in the way that you think. Trust me. I got some pure dope when it come to 50 Cent. I'm going to save that. I got some more. You know what, Mike? Go ahead and talk to the people. Look.
Former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and interstate prostitution. The indictment contains more than a dozen counts and includes allegations of sex trafficking between December 2008 and March 2015. Now, Jeffries allegedly used his power as CEO of the company to lure young men into sex by suggesting they could become models for the fashion company. Jeffries and two co-defendants, Matthew Smith and James Jacobson, were also arrested. Smith and Jeffries were in a relationship. Former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and interstate prostitution. The indictment contains more than a dozen counts and includes allegations of sex trafficking between December 2008 and March 2015. Now, Jeffries allegedly used his power as CEO of the company to lure young men into sex by suggesting they could become models for the fashion company. Jeffries and two co-defendants, Matthew Smith and James Jacobson, were also arrested. Smith and Jeffries were in a relationship.
So he ain't no better than Diddy. Smith and Jeffries were in a relationship. They was partners. Let me tell you something. I ain't never called my old lady a partner. Anytime you hear the word partner, it's Rainbow Coalition activity going on. It got to be here. A man and a woman, they don't say partners and shit. We ain't partners. You know what I mean? Yeah. We ain't partners. You know what I mean? It's husband and wife. I'm the man, you the woman. I don't know nothing about no partner, no partnership. We ain't got no partnership. I don't do partners. You know what I mean? This is why you build these channels organically. There will come a time where the documentary will be about you. It's going to come a time where Mike Jeffries, the documentary is going to be about you. But it takes time. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, you got a lot of these same dudes like Mike Jeffries, the CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, pouring money into urban content. Urban content. Hey, Mike Jeffries, let me talk to you. Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to make sure everything's all right. Did you make bail? Yeah, I made a phone call to the judge. $5 million. Pay 10%, man. We're gonna get you out of there. I just wanted to ask you a question. Let's get control of this content. Let's get control of the narrative. There are Camron and Mace. Get in contact with Camron and Mace. Offer them whatever. Let's get them. Gilly and Wallow. You heard about Gilly. You heard about Wallow. Oh, they love Wallow. The niggers love Wallow. Fat Joe, I don't know about Fat Joe. He's not really resonating with the niggers. He's not really resonating with the urban community. The FBA community is turned Jada Kiss. How about let's put Joe and Jada together. We can do it. They love Jada. Jada. I got beef with the feds and the DA. Yeah, that's Jada Kiss. They love Jada. And they take millions of dollars. They make a budget. I mean, this shit is real. I'm not, I'm not lying to you. They make a budget. They say, we got $200 million next year for urban content. And they put it in the Forbes magazines and they put it in these different magazines, and certain people, they read it and they say, damn, these people got $400 million that they're willing to pour into podcasting. Poof. Next thing you know, we got all these rappers and all these all of these goddamn puppets got podcasts. I appreciate that. I see that in the chat. I'm really considering doing stand-up comedy. Yeah, I'm feeling like Country Wayne. I'm feeling like T.I. I feel like I could get on stage and I can control the crowd and we can laugh together. Smoke weed and laugh together. I think, I'm really considering it, and I'm going to look into that. Yeah, somebody get in contact. I might reach out to T.I. or something. Tell him, put me on stage. But for right now, We doing this right here. Independent content creation. Okay? Mike Jeffries. Let's look into just another, because I'm about to go into a whole nother angle about 50 Cent. Oh, and you're gonna love it. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic. Let's let an independent content creator speak and give more context on what I'm talking about. I don't get how, as a people, we so quick, but you know, again, it's a trick, it's a play, it's a ploy. Yeah, we done gave your ass $40 million. We done gave Gillian Wallow $100 million. They done signed the contract. They got Amsterdam vodka all in the video. They not gonna say nothing out of pocket. Wallow out there buying Porsches and Carreras and Lamborghinis and all of that. Respect, salute to Wallow. But I already told y'all about the yin and the yang. I already told y'all about the balance. You still got to have people like me, Grown Man Business TV, that ain't scared to speak to that. Yeah, man, you know, I love being the bearer of bad news for them people. I love being a threat to the establishment. Now, I mean, you got $100 million, we'll figure out. It's like, no, I'm just playing. Let's get into this receipt. Look.
Sean Diddy Combs versus Michael Jeffries, the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
We are experiencing in real time legal injustice. Now you have two CEOs, two moguls up for the same, being charged with the same crimes, yet being treated differently. Why is that? One is black, one is white. One offered to put up $50 million, his passport, his family's passport, his jet, and offered to go on an ankle monitor, was denied bond. Another white man who was offered a $5 million bond and was awarded it. What's the difference? Michael Jeffries hosted sex events all over the world, Morocco, Italy, Spain, all over the world, for men, young men, lured them to these events, had them thinking they was coming to audition for a modeling career with Abercrombie and Fitch.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Not be allowed to leave, and if they couldn't perform or were unwilling to perform, was injected with drugs in order to perform. Now, someone made a comment and stated that Diddy was a known gangster. If that isn't gangster, you are injecting someone with drugs. If that isn't gangster, I don't know what is. Now, Diddy's accusers are predominantly women. Okay, Michael Jeffries is all men. Now, everyone knows it's a proven fact that women are more catty than men. Okay, that's just that. But nevertheless, regardless to the fact, all these acts are gangster.
Let me help you out, young lady, and salute to you, to the content creator. They weren't only injecting these young men with drugs if they didn't want to perform, but I did my due diligence. Mike Jeffrey, and I can't play it because I don't want. I like to get paid for these live streams and these pre-recorded videos. But I'm gonna articulate what you was doing to them young men. The young models that didn't want to perform in the sex parties were drugged. All right, they were drugged, and then after they were drugged, they were injected with some type of, you know what I'm saying, substance that would make them get extra wet in the anal area. Listen, I did my due diligence. It was like horse tranquilizer or something like that. They would drug them up and then they would hit them with a dose of the horse tranquilizer. What the horse tranquilizer would do is relax the whole body to the point where they would be hot and ready. Like a goddamn toaster strudel. Yeah, motherfucker. You remember them toaster strudels? Right outside the as soon as you take a toaster strudel out the toaster, you remember that? Yeah. They would sedate these young men, right? And then they would hit them with the horse tranquilizer. And what I read, this is, yes, I know it's, I got to give you some context so you can understand what we dealing with. The horse tranquilizer will relax your muscles so much that you will literally just ooze out, my G. You just ooze out. And then what Michael Jeffries and his partner would do is they would blow their back out. Yeah. Yeah, blow their back out. They wake up like Lil Rod. Hey, you remember what Lil Rod said in the documentary? Said he'd wake up sometime and Diddy be laying in the bed with him and his whole body would be sore. Because when they get you like that and they drug you up, oh, they work you out, brother. This ain't no more, you ain't making love. Yeah, they ain't doing no love making. They knocking boots. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me tell you something, man. Listen to me, and respectfully, I know you don't want to hear it. I know it's crazy, but I'm trying to make you understand. When they hit you with that dope and that horse tranquilizer, ain't no love making. They knocking boots like H-Town. Somebody knocking a boot. They knocking your boots. You wake up motherfucking sore. They was sending them little white boys back to France and back to Spain and back to Europe and back to Russia. Sore. I did my due diligence. I don't just get up here and talk. So Diddy was putting Molly and putting certain drugs inside the champagne and the orange juice, and he was feeding it to the people, and everybody get high and everybody wake up sore. These white boys was physically injecting these models with drugs. And then they would hit them with some tranquilizer. A horse, yo, I'm going to move on. But a horse tranquilizer, that's nasty work, B. You know what? Ain't no, motherfucker hit you with a horse tranquilizer, ain't no running. Yeah, you ain't going nowhere tonight, boss. That's what Mike Jeffries was doing. And they gave him a $5 million bail. And not only was he doing that, but it was on an international scale. This motherfucker was all over the world doing this. Yo, if Diddy would have did this in another country, and he would have been, hopping countries doing this, Diddy would have got life. He would have never, Diddy would have got life in prison. All right? Now, again, I'm not staying long, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to speak on why our voices are powerful over here, because we have the option. We don't have to think twice. The only thing we got to do as independent content creators is learn how to articulate what we are saying so that it doesn't violate the community guidelines. Yeah. So it doesn't, we're not trying to violate the community guidelines. But anything we want to say, we can say as long as we know how to say it. These celebrities, they won't even say it, my G. They won't dare open their mouth like that. They won't dare do that. So what happens? What happens? Right now, y'all got the big platforms. Y'all got the money. Y'all got the subscribers. But what happens when I build Grown Man Business TV past 100,000 subscribers organically talking like this? What happens? The tables turn. The rabbit has the gun. And we not going to play fair when the rabbit has the gun. I just want y'all to remember that. I want y'all to understand that. Okay? Big salute to the chat. I'm gonna play one more receipt, and then this receipt is gonna segue me into 50 Cent. You know, I didn't want to put 50 Cent in the title. I thought about it, but I figured I'd do the thing with Camron and Mike Jeffries. Camron was so spooked to even say the name. He said, I know exactly who you talking about. I know exactly who was in that room with Diddy and they was groping each other. But we not going to say that name up here. We could say Diddy, though. We could say Bill Cosby. We could talk about any nigga we want to talk about. But when it come to these dog fur having Caucasoid Neanderthal, we can't talk about them like that. You know what? Let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next question. All right. Oh yeah, we growing this channel organically. Understand that. Understand that. We will have 100,000 subscribers before my next birthday. And my birthday's in June. I already spoken into the universe. We will be at 100K by the time my next birthday come. Big salute to the chat. Now, with all that being said, right? It's a lot of people in the DM, they saying, you know, they looking at my last live stream, a couple of joints I did about 50 Cent, and they saying, you know, how you feel about 50 doing this documentary? What you think about Diddy doing or 50 doing this documentary on Diddy? And like I said before, I'll say it again, absolutely disgusting. Nasty work. I don't respect it, right? But as a fellow war general, right? As a fellow war general, I want to give y'all some game that ain't nobody on YouTube gave y'all. I want to connect a couple of dots that nobody on YouTube has connected when it comes to 50 Cent. And then we going to close out. So one more receipt, right? And big salute to the homie Tatiana, clone Tatiana. You know what I'm saying? We did some content before. She been on the channel before. You know what I'm saying? She doing a thing in the YouTube streets and the social media situation. Salute to clone Tatiana. She's all over the place. I'm gonna let her say what she got to say, and then we gonna get into this last angle. All right. Big salute to the chat.
So I was scrolling, right? And I seen this boy's video. And he was basically saying, if you want to get famous, do not beef with 50 Cent because 50 Cent is the worst person to ever beef with. And I don't perceive him in that way. I see him as a coward. 50 Cent only has power when he's beefing with his own people. But if he was to be beefing with one of these non-black companies, he would not be winning. He's only winning because he's going against black people. He's only winning because he's exposing black people. If he was to try to come out with a Caucasian documentary about somebody in those people's community, he would not be getting the same treatment that he's getting when he's going against black people. Which is why don't come over here and ask me to do interviews, do no content. No, because you're not going to turn me against my people. I'm for the betterment of my people, not tearing them down. The content that I make will actually empower us if we change, grew, and develop. 50 Cent does things to try to tear somebody down because it benefits him. I remember I was watching an interview or something, and 50 Cent was basically saying how like he'll throw you a bone, and if you want to gain some money, you know, you would take the bone. No, I'm not going to argue and fight with you in front of these people to make money. There is generally a mental condition among black people in America that y'all will do anything for money. You will beef with your people for money. You'll be evil towards your people for money. Y'all will do the most darkest shit for a little bit of material gain, and these people are using black people. I find it mind-blowing, which is why I'm kind of sick and tired of making content about the outside people and how disrespectful they are and how they take our culture when y'all are allowing it. People like 50 Cent is a sellout to me. He only has power when he's going against his people, like Charlamagne the God. And listen, if God chose to bless Charlamagne with this new deal, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm happy for him. Growth, abundance. His wife will be taken care of. His children will be taken care of. But I look at your character. I look at the things you talk about. I look at the things that you interact with. I look at the way that you behave. And what made them people give you this deal? You're a black man who never supports your people.
Whew, salute to Tati, man. She be shooting, man. She be spitting, you know. Again, independent content creators. You got to know something. The bag is gonna come. It's gonna come a time where they're going to begin to compromise what we do. It's coming. You know what I'm saying? And depending on if you take the bag or how you take the bag will determine if you have sold out or if you are compromised. At this present moment, you know, the homie Tati, she be shooting from the hip. You know what I mean? The same way I shoot from the hip. You feel me? And I gotta agree with her 100%. I gotta agree with Tati 100%. First and foremost, I want to, you know, what she said about the money. It's like a sickness. It's like a disease. You know what I'm saying? When it come down to this money, how we'll treat each other, how we'll disrespect each other, how we'll kill each other behind this money. You understand what I'm saying? We so brainwashed. I got a song on the mix CD that's coming out called Money on the Floor. I ain't gonna say the whole verse, right? But I got a verse up there where I say, if money is the motivation, you see enough of me, you kill with no hesitation. You see enough of me, you stack me in the safe real comfortably, survive poverty, graduate a lap of luxury. You feel what I'm saying? You see enough of this money and you'll kill behind it. Okay, so I gotta agree with that, right? I gotta agree with what she said when it come to this paper. That's how they keep us in disarray. That's how they keep us in confusion, because all niggas want to do is get that money, and money is always the motivation, right? But 50 Cent, she said, you know, 50's a bully. And I want to kind of speak to 50 Cent. 50 Cent is a bully. He's created the narrative that he is the bully when it comes to like the hip hop culture, right? Respectfully. But he's done a lot of good things. He's made a lot of situations pop for a lot of people and helped them make money and all of that, right? But I want to say this. 50 is a war general, and he's a genius when it comes to war, when it comes to strategy. You understand what I'm saying? When you on that battlefield and you a war general, you always thinking about war. You always thinking about how to defend yourself, but attack the enemy or protect yourself from the enemy. And 50 Cent is an absolute genius when it comes to war. Let me break this down. 50 Cent goes to Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, and he purchases a bunch of land. You know, it's cheap. The land is cheap in Shreveport, Louisiana. You know, I've driven trucks through Shreveport. I know what it looks like when you drive by the water in the water side and all of that. And Shreveport, Louisiana is a place with a lot of potential if you willing to pay, if you're willing to play the game, right? 50 Cent goes down there. He buys up a lot of land. He builds a television production company, warehouses, all of that, all down, something like Tyler Perry. He builds a whole production company, a whole production studio, all of that in Shreveport, Louisiana. G Unit Studios, where he has 100% creative control in his studio. You understand what I'm saying? Where he can create. What he does is, the first thing he does is he stamps the P. Diddy documentary. Now, I know y'all like, where you going with this, G&B TV? You see, P. Diddy, Jay-Z, 50 Cent. These are the three juggernauts out of New York City. These are three juggernauts out of this culture. You already see what they did to Diddy. You already see how they got Jay-Z in shambles. You know, they got Jay-Z in the corner. Jay-Z had to get next to Desiree Perez, a rat. He had to literally get next to a rat, a confidential informant, and he had to do it publicly to keep them people off his back, to keep his character from being assassinated. Who you think they gonna holler at next? 50 Cent. Who you think they gonna humiliate next? 50 Cent. What 50 did is He dropped this documentary, or he stamped this documentary to show the industry that he's fighting in a whole nother way. If I could drop this documentary about P. Diddy and change the perspective on P. Diddy, imagine if I drop a documentary about you. It's a whole nother level of warfare. Oh, it's a whole nother level of warfare. This is a level of warfare that we have not seen. We have never seen this. This is all uncharted territory. We've never seen this happen. You know, we've seen what they did to Bill Cosby. We see what they did to R. Kelly. We see what they did to Michael Jackson. But we've never seen a black man weaponize media the way the way 50 Cent is weaponizing this media. You got to know something. You really understand this. You think the higher ups in the elites ain't looking at 50 and saying, You think they play chess 10 steps ahead. Imagine if P. Diddy did imagine if 50 Cent did a documentary about Mike Jeffries, the same way he did a documentary about Diddy. Imagine what that would do with them people. Imagine if P. Diddy did a documentary about Diageo. You know, them liquor people that Diddy was in bed with. Imagine if 50 Cent did a documentary about Diageo and how they're racist and how they're homosexuals and how they X, Y, and Z. Imagine if 50 Cent did a documentary about McDonald's, Wendy's, the beef shortage. Where are they getting this meat from? Imagine how stocks will fall. Imagine how money would drop. Imagine how the bottom line would be affected. Think about it. You got to know something. If I'm thinking like this, you got to know the higher ups in the elites is already thinking, what if 50 Cent turns on us? He got his own studio. He owns the land. He owns the building. It's called being integrated vertically. 50 Cent went down to Shreveport, Louisiana and integrated vertically. Hey, listen, if you don't know what being integrated vertically is, Google it. Disney is integrated vertically. Apple is integrated vertically. Think about it. Integrated vertically is when you buy the land, you build the building on top of the land, you own the building and the land, you own the business, you own the merchandise that's in the building that you sell. You own it from the ground up. And 50 Cent went down to Shreveport, Louisiana, and that's what he did. You said they would cancel Diddy. I keep saying Diddy. You said they would cancel 50, right? You can't cancel a man that owns his own production studio. 50 is awards. He's a genius. 50 went over there with stars. He made them a lot of money. He learned the ropes on how to make shows, make documentaries, get in business, get it out there to the people. He learned all of that. And then he went to Shreveport, Louisiana, and he bought his own production studio. You can't cancel that man. He could still create documentaries. He still can create TV shows, and we will watch him. Think about it. This is how 50 is protecting himself. Diageo, these billionaires, the only way they could get rid of 50 is they would have to Michael Jackson. They would have to literally get rid of him. They would have to assassinate 50 Cent. That's the only way. So I don't like what he did with Diddy. But I understood and I understand and I overstand that he sacrificed Diddy. Diddy was a casualty of war. Diddy was a casualty of war. Diddy, right, is the example that everybody, that shit is #1 on Netflix right now. Everybody understands that. Not just black people, not just hip hop people, not us. I'm talking the whole industry. The higher ups in the elites is looking and saying, we got a problem. We gotta, listen, Mayday. Houston, we have a problem. And his name is 50 Cent. This is not chess. This is not checkers, my G. This is chess. This is chess, not checkers. And because I'm a war general, again, I always tell y'all in tune with the channel. Big salute, Charlie P. I see you in here. Wisdom B. I see you in here. I've been telling y'all this for years now. I'm a war general. I like to talk and I like to do, but I prefer war. I understand that violence gets shit done. I understand that war, demonstrations, it gets shit done way faster than marching. You know what I mean? So I always been like that. Even with this YouTube thing, I'm a war general. You know, I can't get up here and kumbaya with y'all niggas. I gotta talk like this. It don't feel right if I ain't talking like this. So when I watched 50, I was like everybody else, and I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, what the fuck? Like, Diddy, why is he doing this to Diddy? Like, I get it. He knocking your baby mama down. Got your baby mama doing all-star freak-off weekends and all that. You know, 3, 4, 5 sex workers knocking her down, blowing her back out. I'm saying, but, you know, damn, as men, that we don't respect that. You know, nigga fucking your baby mama, then, you know, you got to move on. But you don't do a whole documentary incriminating P. Diddy, because that shit changed a lot of perspective. That really made a lot of people look at Diddy sideways like, you understand? But the war general in me, my wheels start turning. And I'm saying, well, damn, if he could do that to Diddy, imagine if he did that to McDonald's. Imagine if he did that to Diageo. Imagine if he did that to Mike Jeff. I mean, imagine if he did that to one of them dog fur having people. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother level of warfare that we never seen before. That's why it took me a second to find it. It took me a second to understand it. We seen niggas go to war on beats and shit. We seen Jay-Z and Nas and Ether. We ain't never seen the nigga drop a whole documentary on you. Yeah. Drop a whole goddamn documentary on you and almost wipe you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't never seen that type of war. But we ain't never seen these men get to this certain level of money. And in new levels is new devils. So with this kind of money, you know, it's a whole nother war going on at the top of the mountain. It's a whole nother type of warfare going on with the higher ups and the elites. Yeah. We ain't never seen this type of shit. We saw them smear campaign Michael Jackson. We saw them, they got R. Kelly ass. We saw what they did to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. We watching what they did to Diddy. But we ain't never seen a black man in the position. Well, and I think he's Jamaican or something. I don't know. But he's considered a black man on American soil. All right? We ain't never seen somebody like 50 with this type of power, with this type of money, and this type of power. Jay-Z got money, but Jay-Z ain't no war general. He a hustler. That nigga's a hustler. He don't know how to go to war. When it's time for war, that's why he got did how he got did when Ether came out. Yeah, that's why when he went to war with Nas, he thought that Super Ugly was a good song. This nigga Jay-Z go to war with Nas and he drop a song called Super Ugly. Like, nigga, it's Nas. It's a war. going on outside. Nigga, they would have super ugly. I would have told him, hey man, I don't think that's the one. You know what I'm saying? Go back in there, do some. Jay ain't built for war. 50 Cent. This shit right here was a checkmate. No, not a checkmate. It was a check. You know when you get the king in check, you tell them niggas you got 1 or 2 moves to get out of this. But if you don't make the right decision, it's gonna be checkmate. It'll be game over. 50 has the industry in check right now. And depending on what happens, trust me, Diageo don't want a fucking documentary being pushed out by 50 Cent. McDonald's. Yeah, McDonald's. McDonald's don't want a nigga like 50 Cent to do a documentary. Cause we already know it ain't that many goddamn cows, man, where you getting all this damn beef from, man. It ain't that many. Listen, man. You're selling 1 million goddamn patties a day. You know what I'm saying? You selling 1 million patties of McDonald's a day. Where the fuck you getting the meat from? Now, I could say that to you, but imagine if 50 Cent did a documentary on it. McDonald's ass would be out of business in 2 months. Listen, if 50 Cent did a documentary on where they must be trying to get this beef from, they ass would be out of business, man. Respectfully. You know what I mean? Respectfully. Check me. It's a beautiful. So I say all that to say this. I don't like what 50 did with Diddy in that documentary. But now that I understand what's going on and I see the power play, Diddy is a casualty of war. And you know what? Any man that'll put, another man, any man that'll do that on his nipples and all that, your ass got to be a casualty of war. Then your ass got to be a casualty of war. I can't protect you and I can't save you. You know what I'm saying? Like collateral damage, exactly. Yeah, casualty of war, man. Because they need to see, and you need to know this. Diddy, I know you don't like him, but he was in bed with Diageo and those billionaires. And he had them on the ropes. That whole lawsuit where he was suing them for discrimination and racial profiling and shit, he had their asses on the ropes. That's why they got Diddy out of there the way they quick fast. Because he had them on the ropes. So he ain't somebody they look down on like that. They had to come together at the round table and they had to push a play on Diddy. If 50 Cent could do what he did to Diddy, he could do that to Diageo. He could do that to any of these niggas. Mike Jeffries, any of them. If 50 Cent dropped listen to me. If 50 Cent dropped a documentary on Donald Trump right now, Donald Trump ass would be in trouble. If 50 Cent dropped a documentary on the Epstein files and he did his research, motherfuckers would be running scared, man. They'd try to assassinate 50 ass if he did something like that. Salute to the chat, man. All right, so I just wanted to say that, man. These celebrities, bro, they've been compromised, man. You know what I'm saying? Get what you could get out these podcasts if you do watch them, but it's a reason why you make your way to this channel and other channels like mine. Because we are the last of the Mohicans, my G. There is no other outlet left. Music compromised. These rappers, they've been compromised. Radio personalities, they've been compromised. TV, movies, compromised. Newspapers, compromised. Anywhere you can go to try to get some sort of information has been invaded and compromised. I don't give a fuck what news outlet it is. CNN, Newsmax, Fox News, whatever. They all been compromised. Leo Cohen. Now you feeling me. Now you understanding what you following me. We all heard stories about Leo and all of that. But imagine if 50 did a documentary the way he did with Diddy. four episodes, 5 episodes on Lyor Cohen, on YouTube, on what he did in the music industry, on his background, his Jewish background, how he's connected to Israel and all of that. Imagine if 50 did a doc on that. Now you get what I'm saying. Now you see how 50, how he maneuvered and how he pivot with this. Now you see why 50 had ran his ass down to Shreveport, Louisiana, and start just buying up land and building production. Everybody's like, oh, G-Unit Productions, oh, salute to 50, you know? We all happy for 50. But we don't understand that's a fucking war move. That's a move on the chessboard. That's when you playing chess and you start moving your queen around. Yeah, we got to protect the king. Shit getting real out here. They done knocked off a couple of nights. You see what they did to Diddy. You see what they doing to niggas like Jay and all these other niggas. You know what? Let's start moving this queen around and start knocking. You know, the queen do everything. Now you see why 50 ran his ass down. Everybody was just saying, oh, yeah, you know. Nah, nigga. Now, out of nowhere, it's a documentary that he produces and he stamps, right, with the young lady. Put it out there. I'm talking full-blown assassinate the character of P. Diddy for millions of people to see. You know, shit is #1 on Netflix, right? You think them billionaires ain't looking and saying, like, yo, you good with 50, right? You ain't got no beef with 50. Let's keep cool. Let's stay calm. Let's play nice with 50 Cent till we figure out what to do with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't say nothing. Don't you say nothing. Let's keep it cool with 50 for right now. We don't need him dropping a documentary on McDonald's. We don't need him dropping a documentary on Mike Jeffries and Diageo. And you know what? Let's play cool, play nice. We'll figure out what to do with him. But for right now, don't say nothing. Don't you say a goddamn word. Oh, Charlie, I ain't got no price, man. I was just throwing it out there, you know what I mean? Because the thing with me is, it ain't nothing wrong. Listen, let me tell you. It ain't nothing wrong with taking the paper, right? The only thing is, when you take the paper, you still got a buck on the system. That's all. You got to say, you know what? Yeah, I'll fuck with you. Go ahead and give me that money. And then after they give you that money, still tell them they got dog fur and they got the Neanderthal gene. Yeah, they chromosomes they Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I know exactly. That's why you smell like a golden retriever. See, you take the money. You got to do like Camron and say, oh, I don't know anything about that. We're not going to say no names on the show. You got to do that. But imagine if you take the money and you still say Michael Jeffries is a goddamn nasty man. Look at Michael Jeffries. Look at Israel. They did what they did. Kirk, what's the boy name? Michael, what's the boy name? Kirkland. Yeah, they smoked him. What's the white boy name? Got his head knocked off out there in Utah. What's the white boy name? They smoked him a couple months ago out there in Utah. Put it in. What's his name? Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Yeah. You take the money and then you still get on your platform and you say Israel killed Charlie Kirk. See? It's called being a spook by the door. You gotta, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, take the money. You know what? Go ahead and give me the 20 million then. Go ahead and give me the 20 million. Right? I'm gonna play nice with you. And then I go out there to Shreveport, Louisiana and build a goddamn production studio and threaten to drop documentaries about your crack ass. Yeah. Do a whole documentary about dog fur. Imagine, Charlie, feel me on this, Charlie. Charlie, can you feel me on this? GMB TV, we would love to do business with you. We love your platform and we would love to fund and sponsor your platform and your message. We love your message. We know how you talk. We understand what you're talking about, and We don't have any problem with it. But listen. Grown man business. Don't you worry. Listen, how about bring my checkbook. Gonna go ahead and cut you a check for 80 million. That should suffice. 80 million? No taxes. No taxes. $80 million. That should suffice. And then I take that 80 million and I go out there to goddamn Shreveport, Mississippi, and buy a goddamn production studio and do a 4-piece goddamn documentary on why white people don't have hair, they got dog fur. That's why you smell like a golden retriever when you get wet. If you don't get a haircut for 5 years, that's why you turn into the Sasquatch. Y'all had us looking for Sasquatch. Whole time, Billy, you the Sasquatch. Yeah, I do a whole documentary on Bigfoot. Take the $80 million. I take the $80 million and do a documentary on Bigfoot and tell the world that your white ass is Bigfoot. You was Bigfoot the whole time. You, your Uncle Roger, yeah, Billy Bob, y'all all turn to Bigfoot in 5 years if you don't get a haircut. The triple cross, baby. Yeah. Scott, baby. Salute to Scott. You in here. You see that? Yeah, Charlie, don't fall for the double cross. Always pay attention to the triple cross. Yeah, I'm going to take the money. That's the double cross. They didn't know I was going to do a documentary, a 4-part documentary about the dog fur and why the dog fur smell like dog when it get wet. Yeah, you didn't know I was going to do that. You didn't know I was going to tell the people, I was going to finally tell the world who Bigfoot is, Sasquatch. I was going to use the money to tell them who Sasquatch is. All right, I'm bullshit. I'm bullshit with you. The money coming, they go offer the money, but I ain't fucking with them people, man. I ain't fucking around with them people, man. I ain't got no time, man. I don't want them problems, man. I'm gonna get it out the mud, man. I don't want to have to I don't want to have to move like that. You know what I mean? 50 is playing chess, but he ain't. It's only rich when we look at it. Them people looking at 50, he ain't got $3-4 billion. He ain't got a network of $100 billion where he could really go to war. So 50 is trying to position himself to protect himself and protect his character from being assassinated. But he, you know, if you believe it or not, ain't nothing you could do. You know what I mean? Diageo and them boys get at that round table and they put $50 billion together, you out of here. You done. Your little documentary, it won't make Netflix. It won't make no social media platforms. Your ass to end up in the crazy house. Your ass to get assassinated like goddamn Kennedy. They'll smoke your ass and we won't, and that'll be it. So I said all that just to have some fun with it. You know what I mean? I ain't touching a dollar. Trust me, if they thought I would take the money, they would have already offered me the money. Look around these YouTube streets. Keep your eyes open. You're going to start seeing certain YouTubers getting put in certain positions. Oh, it's coming. It's already happening. I'm good. All right. Big salute to the chat, man. Y'all already know what time it is. Hit the subscribe button when y'all come in here. We have 54,000 subscribers. Easy. All right. You know, we about to start the week, man. You know, stay motivated, stay inquisitive. I want to say that's Donald. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say that. I see you said Bleak. My homie Donald always called me Bleak. I don't know if you talking about Bleak as Bleak is compromised. Bleak is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? These guys are here to get money and create content to get paid from, but they can't talk about certain shit. They can't say certain names. They can't disrespect certain people. They can't expose certain truths. You understand? So like I said, you can say nigga, but you'll never hear them say kike. Yeah, they'll say nigga this and nigga that, but they'll never say kike. Put that word into your mental Rolodex. Kike is a Jewish word. Like, it's like calling a black person a nigga. You talking to one of them people, say that word in front of them, see how they react. See how they treat you. They'll fuck around and what? Yes, I had to fight. You had to fight. You say that shit to some of them people. You say, yeah, that word. Yeah. Kike. That's what I think it's spelled like that. But it's worded like that. I told you I don't speak proper English. I'm not an Englishman. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to say it. It's Kike. Say it. Say that. Say it out loud. Say it right now. Say it. Go ahead. Say it. Kike. Say it. That's like calling a black person. And I'm going to end with this. Y'all remember the movie American Gangster, right? Charlie P, y'all all seen American Gangster. I'm going to give y'all some game. Pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles, right? Because when I'm just wired different, right? So when I watch movies, when I listen to music, I always see things that nobody else sees. I always hear things that nobody hears. And it's been like this my whole life, right? In the movie American Gangster, there's a scene where the white boy, the detective, he was Irish, and he had already talked and spoke with his Italian homeboys, and they were by the pool, and they were saying, yo, we don't know who's bringing in this dope. We still, you know, the heads of the families are upset. It's causing ripples and ruffles all throughout the organization because somebody's bringing in this blue magic, and we don't know who it is, right? There is a scene where the detective, the guy who arrested Frank Lucas, was talking to the feds. He was talking to a Jewish guy who was a fed, right? And they were in a room. And he said, I found out, it was after the fight. It was after the fight when Frank Lucas wore the hat, right? He said, I found out who's bringing the blue magic into Harlem, into New York, right? And he told this fed, he said, it's a guy named Frank Lucas. It's a black guy, right? And the fed, he got real mad. He was like, it's never been a time in American history where a nigga brought in that amount of heroin or that amount of drugs without the green light from the American mob, nigga. And he was mad about that because when he told him that it was a black man that is not connected to no Italians and no Jewish people, and he was just a loner. It was Frank Lucas. He got upset when the detective told him that. And he was like, you fucking blah. He called him something, right? They started like insulting each other. And then I heard, now mind you, the detective dude that arrested Frank Lucas, he wasn't trying to get physical or nothing. He wasn't trying. Matter of fact, he was Irish in Italian. He was Jewish and Italian. The detective guy, or he was Jewish and Irish. I think that's what it was, right? The Fed looked at him and said, "You something, kike motherfucker, whoop, whoop, whoop." And as soon as he said that word, homie went off, and he got real physical, and his man was holding him back like, yo, hold up. And I always remember how that word triggered him. I had never heard that word before, so I did my due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard that shit. I've never heard nobody talk about that scene. I never heard nobody mention that scene. Nobody elaborated on that scene. Everybody talk about other scenes in American Gangster. That scene always stuck with me. They started arguing. This Italian dude and this Jewish and Irish guy. And the Italian dude called the Italian dude called the Jewish and Irish detective a kike motherfucker, and he went crazy. Look at, yo, hold up. I'm gonna see if I can, Look this shit. Hold up. I probably ain't gonna be able to find it, right? I don't even know what to type in for it. But if you look at the movie American Gangster, you will see that part. And I did my due diligence. And that word is like calling a black person. If you say that shit to a Jewish person, they are going to flip. If Camron say that word one time on his podcast, there will not be another podcast, nigga. That nigga had to do like Nick Cannon. He had to sit down with one of the rabbis and apologize. You know what I'm saying? He had to sit down in public, or he had to sit down on TV with one of them rabbis and say, like, I didn't know what I was saying. I apologize. He had to do that. Other than that, they'll eliminate all that shit. It is what it is. Talking with Flea, all that shit. That nigga will lose all his business. He said, you say that shit one time on any of these podcasts, they'll eliminate your ass won't even have a bank account in the morning. They'll get freeze your goddamn account. Your ass will be getting, put your ass in foreclosure. I say all that. I said all that just to explain what that was. You know what I'm saying? I never forgot that shit. Kike, yup. All right, man. Big salute to the chat. It's late. Yeah, it's late, man. We're not gonna stay up much longer. I'm about to wrap it up. So listen, man. Yeah. Hey, Charlie P, I didn't know that. I know now. Salute to you. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could believe that. I could believe they take on them names. You know, I'm gonna say this too about that movie. That shit always made me mad, right? And nobody ever talks about this, but the Italian mob was that guy that arrested Frank Lucas was cool. His best friend was a part of the Italian mob. They grew up together. That's why they was having that conversation by the pool and all that. And the Italian mob used the police to find out who Frank Lucas was and put his ass in jail. You know what I mean? And just so they could take over the drug trade and sell heroin to black people. You know what I mean? And it's like, nobody ever talks about that part. It's like how dirty that shit was. Them niggas used the police to find out who Frank Lucas was, arrest him, take his money, and put his ass in jail. And he wasn't supposed to say nothing. He wasn't supposed to tell on the police and nothing. He's supposed to stay his ass in jail. That's how dirty the game is. And then all they did was just sell heroin to black people in Harlem the same way he was doing it. But as long as a nigga's not doing it, it's all good. That shit was terrible, man. That dude found $1 million in the trunk and left that shit in the trunk and turned it in. But then he see Frank Lucas. He want to put Frank Lucas in jail. And the only reason he wanted to put Frank Lucas in jail is because the head of the mafia families were upset because they couldn't figure out who was bringing in that blue magic. He didn't want to put him in jail because he was a drug dealer and he was hurting people and families was dying and people was overdosing. They didn't give a fuck about that. He only went and found Frank Lucas and put him in jail because the Italians wanted him in jail so they could take over that part of the business. Shit was nasty work. Terrible. Yeah, he paid his tuition. He paid his kids tuition for school because he felt bad at the end of the day. He know he did some dirty shit for some dirty Italian mob leaders, some mob bosses. Yeah, that's why he came back and he did the interview with Frank Lucas and he paid his kids tuition. Man, Frank Lucas ain't need him to pay that. Frank Lucas would have had his own tuition money. Yeah, they wanted his connect, but first they had to figure out who was bringing in the heroin. They couldn't figure out who was bringing in all that blue magic, and it was affecting their bottom line. They was losing a lot of money. You understand? They couldn't figure out who was bringing in the heroin and not cutting in the Italian mafia. When they figured out who he was, they got rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Do law enforcement agencies have the right to give you an alias in the hospital to say that you're another person, but still use your personal information? I don't know, man. You might have to do your due diligence on that, boss. It sound like paralegal work. That shit you just asked me as a child, bitch, you had to do it. They asked me to pay a super chat to ask me all. I ain't read it. Hey, that sound like paralegal work to me, boss. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if they could do that. I'm sure they can. Sure they can. They cops do whatever they want to do, especially if you don't know. Trump went in on the weed game. Dude, Trump went in on the weed game. They already in on it. They already taxing. You know, I ain't sure what that move is with Trump. You know, this is the thing, right? These presidents and these politicians, they get in office and they do shit like that, and everybody be happy about it. But if you really can see through the smoke and mirrors, it's like it was a category 1 drug. You moved it to a category 2 or a category 3. Like, so fucking what? So what? Now it's a category 3 drug. It's still not federally legal. You know what I mean? So if the feds want to get involved, your ass going to prison. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? So it's like, why not just make it completely legal? Fuck it. You know, we already know what it is. Why not just make it like tobacco? Tobacco killed more motherfuckers than weed ever did. Tobacco is a fucking terrible situation. You know what I mean? So why not just make it like tobacco, where you could just buy it anywhere? Anybody could smoke it. Truck drivers, anybody. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm gonna leave y'all with this, especially when it comes to Trump, right? Anybody seen that $2,000 Trump was talking about 2 months ago? You know what I mean? Anybody seen that 2 bands they were supposed to be giving out? All right. Again, you ain't gonna hear none of these dudes talking like this. I mean, wasn't everybody supposed to be getting $2,000 2 months ago? Anybody seen that money? I don't get excited. I don't fall for that shit, man. Yeah, you did something with the weed, man. All right, so what? Where that money at? Where the money at? You know what I mean? Releasing the guy that allegedly killed Jam Master Jay. I heard about that. I'm not sure exactly why they releasing him, but I seen a clip or 2 about that, man. You know what I mean? I'm not privy on what that's about, but I'll say this, man. You know, for me, I'd rather you be free. You know what I'm saying? If Jam Master Jay was my uncle or my close homie or my pops or something like that, I would be very excited for you to come out of jail. I'll just say that. I'd be ecstatic for you to be released from prison. I'd be overly excited. Yeah, I would vouch for you to get out. I would send letters to the judge like, yo, he's already rehabilitated. Just let him out. You know what I mean? So 6 months later, they can find you in a Walmart parking lot somewhere in your car, slumped over the steering wheel. Yeah. You know what I mean? That'll make me smile too. You know? Catch you, find you at a light, slumped over your steering wheel somewhere like that. You know what I'm saying? Or at a gas station, or, you know, at a wherever you know, yeah, something like that. So, free that man. You know what I mean? He killed Jam Master Jay. A lot of people love Jam Master Jay. Free that man. Salute to the chat, man. Still well over 300 in here, man. Hit the subscribe button. A lot of y'all was lurking tonight, man. Y'all wasn't running them likes up. I mean, y'all wasn't running up those subscribers. Y'all ain't hit the subscriber count like I wanted y'all to hit that subscriber count. That's okay, though. All right. So look, man, you already know what time it is. It's your boy Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You know, you can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. Yeah, Charlie P. You know, Israel, Ukraine, Argentina. They just got like 40 billion out our pockets. It's a dirty game. We'll talk more about that another time, though. Yeah, salute, salute. Yeah, man, I suggest you tap into this grown man business. I suggest you tap into this grown man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick directly into the bottles. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoating nothing. We not dressing nothing up. I'm only here to give you this pure dope. Straight raw, my G. Pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles, straight raw. No fentanyl, no quinine, no baking soda. We ain't water whipping this dope and we ain't counter whipping this dope. It's straight raw. All right? These YouTubers, these celebrities, compromised. It's a dirty game they playing. Keep your eyes open. Keep your head on the swivel. Make sure you do that. Understand what you're dealing with. Understand why you subscribe to this channel, why you get your notifications, why you rock with Grown Man Business TV the way you rock with Grown Man Business TV, because there is nobody on YouTube connecting the dots the way I connect the dots, the way I put it together. Everybody talking about P. Diddy. Everybody got a problem with what happened with Cassie. Everybody got a problem with the bacon, the baby oil, and, you know what I'm saying, the drugs and the roofies and the spiked drinks and everything that came with Diddy and the sex workers and all that. Everybody got a problem with Diddy. I done heard Diddy name 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000,000 times in the last 6 months. But nobody's talking about Michael Jeffries. Nobody's talking about the higher ups and the elites. And when it come down, hold on. Hold on, watch this. When it comes down to it, it's because they scared, y'all. They scared, they've been compromised, and you know, it's a reason why it's a fluctuation of celebrities in this podcast and in this content creation game, because it's a war move, it's a war tactic, it's a way to fund the rival, to fund the competition. But you need to know something, right? It don't matter how many rappers come to YouTube. It don't matter how many celebrities start creating content. We have carved out a lane for the real. It's a lane they cannot enter. They cannot even say the names. He saw Diddy and another man in a room groping each other. The only name they was allowed to say was Diddy. And they moved on to the next question. All right? Now, I'm going to give y'all a treat since we still in here. Big salute, y'all still in here, right? I've been wanting to say this for a while, and I'm going to just go ahead and say it now. And I'm going to just keep it 100 with y'all. The whole no Diddy term, right, was stolen from me. I created the term no Diddy. All right? Now, I want you to understand something. I said no Diddy 14 years ago in a song that I wrote. And I'm going to put this song on the CD. It's going to be available. This song will be added to G&B Volume 1, G&B V1. This song that I did, I said, choppers running around the wrong city. You dealing with real bad boys. No Diddy. That's what I said that a long time ago. I said that 14 years ago. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to get paid for it. And I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to do all that. What I am saying is, I said it 14 years ago. I'm an innovator. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to play that small clip of the song, right? And let y'all hear that. I said it 14 years ago. Let y'all hear this. want y'all to listen to this, all right? I want y'all to listen to this, all right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you see how. Yeah, this is me back in the day before the beard and all that. I want y'all to listen to this. Listen to what I'm talking about. Listen to this. Look, that's my cousin right there. Watch this. Listen.
Around the wrong city, you're dealing with real bad boys. No Diddy, yeah, I see him boys. No Diddy, yeah, no Diddy, yeah, I see. Around the wrong city, you're dealing with real bad boys. No Diddy, yeah, I see him dancing like the. Around the wrong city, you're dealing with real bad boys. No Diddy, yeah. Around the wrong city, you're dealing with real bad boys. No Diddy. Around the wrong city, you're dealing with real bad boys. No Diddy, yeah.
I said that. Now, let me show you something. I'm gonna elaborate on this. I'm gonna elaborate on this soon enough, right? But I want you to look at this now. Look. 14 years ago. All right. Chopper was running around the wrong city. You dealing with real bad boys. No Diddy. Yeah. I see. Like I said that 14 years ago, man. You're in the right place. Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? You're in the right place. Hit the goddamn subscribe button and all that. Appreciate that, man. Salute. Much love to the chat, man. I'm just playing with y'all. But yeah, I did say no Diddy 14 years ago. And now all of a sudden everybody's saying no Diddy. Grown Man Business TV Volume 1 will be available January. Oh, that song right there is on. Oh, that song is fire. It's on there. All right, man. Getting downloads before you know it will be download. Yeah, I already got a lot of downloads. Yeah, the meaning was different, but yeah, the meaning was different. I'll give it that. I wasn't talking about like no homo or no Diddy. We wasn't saying that. I was saying when I said the line, I was talking about, and maybe I'll do a story time about this. Chris had came to Norfolk and did a show in Military Circle Mall, and it was a tour, and he had Bad Boy making the band was with the tour. But on this particular stop, the dude Chopper, he was the only one there. He was the only one with Chris that was on that tour. It was some other people as well, but me and my cousin, we was chilling. We was hanging with Chris, and Chopper was just all around, running around, and he was like all outside and all in noise. He was like moving around the city, and we had thought to rob him. We was like, me and my cousin, we thought about it like, let's rob Chopper, because he had like a chain on and this and that, and we was gonna take all that shit. But we didn't do it because my uncle was doing what he was doing with Chris, and I didn't want like that shit to fall back on my uncle, because I just didn't want. So I was like, nah. So I put a red light on that. You know what I'm saying? And in that verse, I said, Chopper, he running around the wrong city. You dealing with real bad boys, no Diddy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. So it ain't had nothing to do with like no homo shit. I was just saying like that nigga Chopper, this nigga was all over the place. And I'm saying to myself like, bro, you do not know you at. This is not one of them. I know you know, this ain't New York and all that, but this ain't one of them little country towns you need to be like, this nigga was doing this and doing that. And I'm like, bro, we could just, I had a big ass P89 Ruger on me. I'm little, I'm 120 pounds. I got a big ass P89 Ruger. Shit was huge, big ass jeans on. You know what I mean? And we thought we was about to, we was right there. We was gonna catch his ass in the parking lot of Military Circle Mall, and we was gonna take all of that. But I just feel like he would have knew it was me. You know what I'm saying? Something in my mind was like, he gonna know it's you. Cause he had already seen me. We had already like dapped up and talked and laughed and joked. And I'm like, he gonna know it's me and he gonna tell. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to get my uncle in trouble. So we didn't do it. I'm glad we didn't do it. You know, I had downloads even back then. I had intuition even back then. I could feel things and I could like foresee certain things. You might be new to the channel, man. But I always talk about throwing hands, especially with New York niggas when they used to come down for the summer. I was always the one that started fights with them niggas. I always was the littlest one, but I was always the one to start a fight. Cause you know what I'm saying? Always, nigga. So yeah, my knuckles is scarred up. Yeah, my knuckles got scars on them. I don't know if you can see them shits. Yeah, I got knuckles. I got scars on my knuckles, man. See a big one right there. You know what I mean? You don't get knuckles like that from not scrapping. So you were on the down low. It's so late, man. I ain't even gonna knock you. I ain't even gonna shoot you down for that. You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tap in. Hit the subscribe button before y'all leave. And we gonna tap in tomorrow for sure. Like Todd Trucker, bro. Todd Trucker, who is that? Y'all niggas is crazy. You know, I be trying to make an effort to look into the chat too. I be finding myself like not looking to the. I be delivering these downloads and I forget to even look in the chat. That's why I'm answering questions and rocking with y'all before I leave out. Hold on, let me see who that. What you talking about? Who is Todd Trucker, man? Oh, nah, you bugging. I don't look like dude. Candy X. Yeah, you bugged out. I don't see it. I don't see that. But yeah, salute to you. No, I appreciate that like and subscribe. Yeah, I won't show if you. Yeah, I won't show. It'll be a lot of trolls in the chat, man. But I appreciate that. It's a Grown Man Business greeting from Ghana. Salute to Ghana. Yeah, we international. Related to Sammy singing. Nah, I ain't even mad at you because I get that a lot. I used to get that a lot when I was young too. Nah, I'm not related to Sammy the singer, man. Nah, no relation. No correlation, no relation, B. Salute to you, though. Oh, did I ever lose a fight? Nah, I ain't never been beat up. I can't say, I ain't never been like punched in my face and nothing like that. I ain't never had no black eyes. I ain't never had no busted lips. I ain't never lost a fight. I done been in some good fights, though. You know what I mean? Where we both, you know, I might, you know, my knuckles is beat up. I might have a scratch or something. You might got a busted lip or you might be, you know, a broken nose or something like that. I done been in some good fights where I could say it wasn't no winner or no loser. We just fought. You know what I mean? When it's a real good fight and y'all both, you know what I mean, scratched up and bruised up a little bit, and y'all both were like, all right, we good, we gonna stop because we done fought it out. You know, some fights you don't win or lose. But as far as ever losing a fight, never. I ain't never been beat up. I ain't never had nobody take nothing from me. I ain't never. That's why, bro, I got almost 60,000 subscribers. You ain't never seen nobody do no video or come out and say, yo, I'm from Virginia and I used to take shit from GMB and we used to beat them up. Nothing. They get nothing. I'm gonna say this, right? I always been like the shortest dude in the bunch. You know what I'm saying? And when I was small, I was always the smallest dude. So you either gonna become timid or you gonna become the aggressor. And I decided to be the aggressor. Like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I like, you gonna be scared or you gonna be the aggressor. So I used to start a lot of shit. My cousin, they all tall niggas. My friends, they all big. They used to be like, yo, chill the fuck. I'll pop some shit off real fast. Fight, you can't fight down there in Virginia. Where you from? Nah, I didn't do a lot of fighting with niggas. It was always out of town niggas that a lot of the fights I got in was from out of town, like out of towners. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really get in a lot of fights with like people where I'm from, right? I mean, but you gotta think like this. Sweet Pea Whitaker's from Norfolk, Virginia. One of the greatest boxers that ever fucking live. Ask Floyd Mayweather, who's in his top 5, and Sweet Pea Whitaker from Norfolk, Virginia, is in his top 5. So we got fighters, be like, don't ever get it confused. But Virginia's for hustlers, man. You know they say Virginia's for lovers. We used to always say Virginia's for hustlers. That's why the Clips, Malice and Pusha T, that's why they said that in that song. Virginia's for hustlers, but trust is hate here for out of towners who think that they gonna move weight here. So I wasn't the nigga, I was like, when I was young, I used to fight a lot for, you know what I'm saying? But when I got older, nigga, I was a hustler. You know what I mean? I started hustling. I started getting money. So it went from being young and having fights during the summertime to getting money and having guns and shit. You know what I mean? Like once the guns start coming around and yeah, niggas wasn't doing a lot of fighting. But when I was young, you know what I'm saying, 15, 16 and under, I did a lot of fighting. Yeah, I never wore Abercrombie and Fitch either. I never wore Abercrombie and Fitch. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, I just wasn't doing all that. From 6 to 16, we was scrapping. We was brawling. Nigga, we was doing that. You know what I mean? But 17, 18, 19 and all that and money and guns start becoming a thing, man. And yeah, fighting became like a vague memory. You know what I mean? Last thing you want to do is fight somebody and then they shoot you. And you fight somebody, they come back and smoke your ass. Yeah, Charlie P getting punched and getting hit, that ain't getting beat up. You know what I'm saying? That's just what come in a fight. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had plenty of fights where shit, we just rumbled, nigga. Nobody lost, nobody won. Nigga, you beat up, I'm beat up, I'm bruised up, you bruised up, my knuckles is bleeding, your knuckles is all yeah, I'm from VA, baby. Yeah, I never wore Abercrombie and Fitch, man. Big salute to the chat. Let me see what we got, man. We about to get up out of here. I ain't even mean to stay this long. I've been supposed to got out of here. Yeah, what's something that fool could say to you that'll make you automatically swing? Man, it's a plethora of things you could say, man. You know what I mean? It's a plethora of things you could say. You know what I mean? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. It's a plethora of things. You know. When I was young, man, you could say anything. When I was young, niggas say. When I was young, you could say any kind of thing. Your mama, it's all kind of shit you could say when I was young. But like now, as an adult, you know, if we face to face and you say certain shit, it's gonna be an issue. I can't even act like I'm the bigger person and in the right scenario, in the right circumstances, you know what I mean? I do something. But, talking is talking, man. Talk is cheap. You know what I mean? At this age, man, talk is cheap, man. You let the females run their mouth. So if you talking like that and you trying to get me to swing and you talking, you got to do something. Yeah, you do something and we might can make it work. You know what I mean? So listen, man. Charlie P, man, salute to you, my G. I see you in here. Man, we about to get up out of here, man. Y'all make sure we start this week off, man, motivated, stay inquisitive, you know what I mean? Stay inspired, stay enthusiastic, man, opportunistic. Keep your mind open, keep your eyes open, keep your head on the swivel. Let's make sure, you know, we understand that we in this matrix. We dealing with this matrix. I'm gonna do a live stream tomorrow, man. I'm gonna talk about this matrix. I'm gonna have a conversation about the matrix. You know what I'm saying? About time and the calendar. You know what I'm saying? You know, white people, man, they fucked this shit up real bad, man. We had shit was paradise, man. They didn't, you know, even like it's gonna be a deep conversation. So just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, make sure your notification bells are ringing. So when we go live tomorrow, we can have this conversation. But it's a reason why we all feel out of whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, why shit don't feel right. You know, the calendar. You know, they added these extra months to the calendar. They got us celebrating New Year's in the dead of wintertime. When everything is dead, they got us celebrating New Year's. The trees is dead. The flowers is dead. The crops is dead. It's cold outside. And they got us celebrating New Year's when spring is the real new. Like, it's a reason why this globe, like this whole matrix is falling to shit. Why it don't feel right. You know what I mean? It's because they got this, you know, you got leap year, you got, you know, daylight savings. How the fuck you saving daylight? Who made this up? Who made this rule up where you gonna take an hour away and add an hour back? Like, dog fur is white people, bro. Respectfully, I don't have no, you know what I mean? And I want to have a talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Yeah, man, we need to, you know, the transfer of power only gonna come through war, though. You know what I mean, Charlie? I always talk about that. We done got so comfortable in this matrix, we don't want to go to war behind it. You know what I mean? Because you got to destroy this shit to rebuild it. To take over this shit, you got to destroy it. It ain't enough marching. It ain't enough talking. It ain't enough nothing that's going. It's going to shift this thing. It's got to be a war, but we don't want to go to war. You know what I'm saying? We just want to live our life, and we just want to provide for our families, and, you know, we don't want to burn this shit down because we don't know what comes after it. We don't know if we don't know what's going to happen after it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, nigga, New Year's it's going to be, it's in the dead of winter time. New Year's is supposed to be in spring when everything is anew. You know what I mean? Yeah, when all the plants is springing up, that's when it's supposed to be a new year. They got us celebrating New Year's. It's white people shit, man. Black, listen, let me tell you something. We would never think no shit like that because we got melanin. We need the sun. So we don't want to we not celebrating no New Year till the sun come back. White people, man, with that dog fur. Them the only motherfuckers that's going to turn around and tell everybody that the New Year's in the dead because they got the fur all on them. Motherfucker got fur on their back. They got fur on their neck. They got fur on their legs. They got fur on their fingers. That's why they got this motherfucker. That's why they got us celebrating this shit in this goddamn nasty ass. With this dead of winter time. These motherfuckers talking about New Year. That's why they couldn't grow crops. That's why the pilgrims' ass was dying out. Came over here talking about some more. It's a New Year. It's December the 31st. Shit is dumb. Big salute to the chat, man. Y'all already know what time it is. I'm tired. I'm old, man. I'm going to bed. Hey, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, tap out. But you know my slogan. You know what I suggest? I suggest you tap in. Gang.